language?
Actually, what we're actually kind of mostly focusing on is basically a case study of what we do and kind of how we make everything kind of cohesive. And we brought the swag, so don't worry. So let me just grab it now. And we just begin. The iPad is being obnoxious. There we go. So first of all, we're going to kind of introduce ourselves. We'll go through our social media strategy. We'll look at some stats, and we will kind of get a closer look at what we actually post. We do TikTok, so hopefully that link will work because we didn't get a chance to practice, so it's fine. And then we'll kind of go over like kind of what we found. Basically, it's kind of how it is. So I'm Jen. We tried to get the other two on, like, they're shy, so there's only pictures of me and then there's pictures of Catherine, and that's it. So I run the social media team for Limerick mostly. I started off in MAC Thurles. And then I moved. And when I moved to Limerick, I got put in charge of all the social media. So MIC Limerick is a smaller college than most colleges. We've only got about 5,000 students, including Thurles. But we do have quite a high student retention rate, and that kind of reflects on our social media a little bit. I'll let Catherine.
Just doubling up. So basically Thurles is the smaller campus of the two. I've been a library assistant for almost 2 years, and it was a complete career change because I'd worked in admin for a print and design company for over 10 years. So I had a keen interest in design. Kind of might have mentioned that early on, and was landed the task of establishing social media presence for Thurles on an MIC library. So we operate under one account, which is the challenge, and we are two different campuses completely.
With two different needs.
And yes, and Thurles is it has a really unique place, largely because of its history too. It was always educational based. As you can see, it started in 1837, so almost 190, coming up to 190 in 2027. It's very well known for being a seminary. Decades later, now it's a thriving third level campus, and we merged with MIC in 2016 which saved Thurles really because it was in danger of closing. So we now operate and offer 7 post-primary degree courses, and it makes Thurles a really sought-after niche destination for future primary school teachers, and it's growing continuously.
So our social media strategy, it's the 4 of us. We operate under one kind of overview, like all of our social media accounts are accessed by everybody across both of the campuses. We post 4 days a week. Thurles posts 1 day a week. We monitored it for about a year, and then we found out that, like, say, Wednesdays were the day for highest engagement, so we gave that to them. And then we post the other 4 days. Our posts are mostly academic, highlights information. Our TikTok and Instagram stories are obviously way more casual. And we do have a placement student who takes up one of our days in order to, like, bring in the student perspective on things, and they post about what they actually like to post about, which is nice.
And then for our communities, our community of engagement obviously is primarily cross campus, but we don't divide our engagement, which works well for us because we've established that niche for Thurles and almost that Thurlesified branding within the wider MIC libraries branding, and we have a high engagement with our students, and Thurles students definitely got on board. They love all things Thurles, and I suppose being a smaller campus, it's more like a larger secondary school. We know in the library most of them by first name, or regulars anyway, and they like and know about things, word spreads quickly. And then our target groups within the college community primarily include students and staff, although we do intend to engage with wider academic communities and also the public.
Yes, I think the main point there as well is that we actually do retain 1/5 of our followers every year. So we do get engaged with quite a large amount of our followers in relation to our size. So we have about 1,000 followers on Instagram and Twitter. So it's kind of fun. I like to think it's impressive. I don't know about you, but so these are our platforms. So we have Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, X. We moved to Blue Sky before our main college moved to Blue Sky. So we kind of led the way. Obviously, that means that everything's very quiet because no one's on there yet from our basic communities. But Mary I is planning to leave X and move to Blue Sky. So we're hoping that like with that, it'll encourage, because we're already there. So and we have a couple of starter packs all ready to go for the academic community for us. So, which is nice. Threads, we are experimenting. It's an interesting place. There's not a lot of engagement on there yet, but because it directly posts from Instagram to Threads, it's kind of like a cheat sheet. Like we don't have to think about it very much. We post on Instagram, it goes over to Threads, and then we just see what happens. So we're kind of monitoring what happens there. It's a bit of an experiment. Our TikTok is extremely popular. And I will talk about that. Oh yeah, this is kind of more, I'm conscious of time, so I'm just gonna zoom through these. Our TikTok is kind of, it varies wildly. It's really hard to kind of monitor because there doesn't seem to be any kind of consistent, like it doesn't matter what time you post, it doesn't matter what you post, like some things just go mad and other things are just tiny. It's bizarre, but I'll focus a bit more on Twitter in a minute. So yeah, and then X is still quite high in our engagement because most of our academic communities are still on Twitter. X, I keep saying Twitter. But we're hoping with the move, with the exodus from X of the Mary I departments, that our Blue Sky will then grow and blossom and be wonderful. Want to go through the stats?
I'll go through the numbers. So thanks to Anna and Limerick, who number crunches every month for us. And I just given, numbers aren't my thing either. So I've just given an overview of last year, just to give, bearing in mind we are a smaller campus too. So our Instagram followers were 1,264, 79 posts, quite high likes. Our views we were very happy with. And then we're reaching over 48,000 accounts. Stories, again, a very important part of Instagram that we're trying to grow. 88 stories last year with over 26,000 views. We feel students check their socials, particularly stories and TikTok, before they'll email us or ask us anything at the library desk. So it's really important for engagement. And then we have numerous tags. We try to tag other MIC departments and social media pages and promote within ourselves and grow as an overall body as well. Twitter, X, we do have a substantial 606 followers on it as of last year. That included 80 posts, and you can see from the likes, reposts, engagements, and impressions that was quite strong. And then the baby of everything, TikTok, which has grown since obviously 2024 with 206 followers, 19 videos with over 6,000, almost 7,000 likes and 25,000 views. And again, it's the one that we get higher engagement among other libraries with, which is interesting. So it is definitely the one to watch, we feel as well, and that we're going to try and develop more now that our team in Thurles has grown and I have a TikToker. So I've handed that to her.
So we're going to have a quick look kind of at more of our closer looks from Limerick, because that's my area of purview. So we post 4 times a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We focus more academic posts towards the start of the week, and then we give our Fridays to our student takeover. So we keep, like, what we do is we want our kind of, if you look at our Instagram page, or if an Instagram post pops up from us, or even any across the thing, we kind of keep the pictures consistent across all. We want it to be instantly recognizable as one of our posts. So we keep the branding specific, or the color specific to the MIC's brand. We kind of keep it very kind of like information focused for the Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. But we do like to have a little bit of fun with it, because it's, you know, where's the fun in it? We don't have any fun with it. And then for we also use our social media to highlight our displays and our like in-house things like new books, that kind of a thing. Our student takeover posts they're nice because each student is individual. So like for the first one, she was really into pink. It was her whole thing. So all of her posts were pink. And like it's like, so the next student really liked movies. And then we had the same student for the whole year. So he did a study soundtrack, which we still have on our LinkedIn. So he made a study post playlist on Spotify. And we have that linked on our LinkedIn page so that students can go directly to that. And he's also doing what Sam's reading post this semester. So that was nice. That's for you.
I suppose the challenge with Thurles was initially that it was very staggered, and it was recognised overall by MIC that we needed a presence on social media, that Limerick was dominant. So it was kind of an ad hoc thing. If Thurles managed to get a post up, that was great, but wasn't really a format for doing it. So because it's a smaller campus, you might think, oh, that's a bit of a disadvantage, but it was kind of really, because we piggybacked onto the MIC Libraries account, were given an established day, which was a day of high engagement. And I suppose with things like Canva and Papercut, as people have said, it enables you to learn quickly. And we're all about a Thurlesified approach. People that go to Thurles, work in Thurles, are very passionate about Thurles, and we like all things. There might be a bit of blue and gold in there from time to time. We do kind of tend to make a pop a little bit differently from Limerick. There's that bit of rivalry. And then Jade joined our little team this year, and being based in Thurles, she's enabled the growth of TikTok and more stories, which we're finding have a high engagement as well. I suppose we do have that challenge of being ourselves within a brand. And we are trying to look forward towards developing maybe more specific logos, so that Thurles has a logo. At the moment, we have a generic library logo, and even for Limerick, that they would have more Limerick branded logos as well. I'll just go through a sample again. Like Jen's, we have our very user services based focused posts. So I like to have MIC Thurles on everything if possible. And again, we did things like a new student Thurles guide this year within the LibGuide, so it distinguishes Thurles again. And it was very popular with students starting out, and it was a helpful kind of go-to for the start of the year. Again, we have our regular events, yearly events, Christmas, Easter, World Mental Health Day. Because obviously Gaeilge is big on campus, it's one of our degree subjects. We collaborated with the Irish department, and we did a post last year for Shocked in the Gaeilge, and a display based around Irish female writers. So we brought in that aspect of it, and students were a bit amazed that we were using Irish to become very trendy at the minute. So we're utilising that as well. And then some fun ones this year as a promotion and kind of something to give back to the students. We did an egg hunt on campus, very popular, and they were in before they should have been. And we did little things like they had to crack a Dewey Decimal Code, which was interesting because a lot of them were lost in sections of the library that I thought they would be familiar with. So that was a whole other, their third and fourth years, and why don't they know this? So it was a learning curve for all of us. And we do poke a bit of fun during the summer at things like last year we did, like if shelving was an Olympic sport, librarians would win gold medals, and there are very nice shelves in Thurles. So we just did that as a fun, and they're very popular too.
So yeah, what we've also done this year is we have moved a lot of our social media to kind of try and move it outside of the social media space. So on our self-issue machines, there you can put promotional ads. So we've got this, and we have bookmarks, which have, I'm going to get you to give them out, which have our social media on the back of them, in order to kind of, encourage students to maybe join our things. Now these are out of date because I had them printed, and then immediately we joined Blue Sky, and then we joined Threads. So I need to get these reprinted. And this is definitely not me getting rid of excess stock on Yollaby, I promise. Me, no. And then our self-issue machine, like this is what they look like. So they're kind of, they pop up in the self-issue machines, they rotate through a whole load of different ones. And we have stuff like links to our Blue Sky, our surveys and stuff, our QR codes, and kind of important things, but they match the branding on the posts in our social media, so everything is consistent. So it's immediately recognizable. And the TikTok post, yes. So we've been using TikTok over a year, both, again, same account for both of us. It's more fun. Apparently our engagement here is worldwide. I think we had Bangladesh at one point. I was kind of going, oh my God, what are they viewing us for? We totally robbed the idea of DCU. Thank you very much, DCU. I completely used you in an argument with our previous assistant librarian for information studies, for information services, because I basically went, they have one, it looks really cool, can we have one too? And he was like, okay. No one on the library staff wants to get in front of the computer, which is, or in the camera, which is sad, but we're working on it. Myself included. Just gonna do a really quick, if that's okay. I know everyone's like running overtime. So if this works, I don't know if it will. How do I get it onto the one that's being shared? And thank you. You can just get it onto the screen. Us, yay! I'm just gonna show you like a really quick one. This is what I mean by it's like, it's very sporadic in terms of views, but we like to post fun on various ones. That's him going, what do you want? That was around the time that we had our survey and we were trying to get them to like, what do you want in our new library, which is coming, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Another one that's nice and doesn't really need sound is the eagle one. Which is something I think most of us can relate to. The evil glare of, if you don't stop talking, there will be war. So this is kind of what we do because no one wants to get in front of the camera. We use a lot of memes. We use CapCut all the time. So that is one. If none of your staff want to get in front of the camera, I would highly recommend. And then our library wrapped. This was just, I'm going to do this really quickly. I know we're super over time. This was just basically a huge collaborative effect across all of our library departments. We did like, I don't know if any of you have Spotify. If you know Spotify Wrapped, we did a library Wrapped. So over about 2 weeks, we did a like your visits, you can see it all there. You're all, kind of said what we've already said about that. Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of what we've found here is what everyone else has said. That the engagement is like, because we're so small still on Blue Sky, we haven't found a lot of engagement there, but it's growing. I think without sustained efforts from everyone, the communities we enjoyed on X/Twitter will not take off unless we really kind of all start liking each other's posts. So follow us and like us. And I think we focus primarily on student engagement. So we're going to try and focus a lot more on the academic staff. I really liked the suggestion that Ned made about moving Blue Sky to purely academic. So I will be absolutely robbing that, thanks Ned. And you said a point about Turles?
Yeah, I just think that our engagement and stats, considering we're kind of only up and running officially a year for Turles, has been impressive for a smaller campus. And it's that thing of recognizing that we are smaller. We do have kind of hopes on maybe a second day for, or share another day that we do one and Limerick would do one. And just in general, it's been, that cross-campus communication team is working well. And I do think it involves kind of a lot of logistics and juggling. I work with Jen a lot. I actually don't do a lot in person with her, so today is a bit of a novelty.
We get to be face to face.
It is that that challenge is there daily, and we have to be very careful around the tone of our posts and what we're trying to express, and that we don't overlap, that our topics for the week or month are known by Limerick and vice versa.
Because like they do an exam stress, we don't also do an exam stress, because that's just why would you?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we get it. So those are our handles. Feel free to message us or email us or anything. We'll be here. Follow us. Fantastic. We're still only small. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your